The next set of items will be educational tours, first reads. We're not voting on any of this tonight.
Kristen, I don't believe any of these are time sensitive, correct?
Correct.
So they can all be voted on in the consent in October unless somebody has discussions tonight.
Right.
Most of these are reoccurring. The ski and snowboard is a new one. It's a volunteer club. The Model UN trip has been something that we've been approving the last few years, especially.
Kevin, the ski and snowboarding seem to me to be quite different from the others in that, the kids are doing active sports. Just want to make sure.
Waivers, et cetera.
Waivers, and our carrier knows about it. And
Okay, that's a good point.
We used to have a ski and snowboard club.
Did we?
Yes. We suspended that one. My kids run a bunch of trips.
We
But it's a
will,
good
you know what,
point.
let's leave that one off for sure till October, so Tim can just make sure they know and we got the right waivers.
Well, I asked a few questions too, and it's fine
Okay.
how you can research them and see if it matters. If we wait till next meeting to talk about to vote.
Kristen, do you have any general answers already for that were submitted?
Yes, there were a few questions.
Go ahead.
So there was a question on the cost of the second ski and snowboard club trip, if they were getting a different bus, if that would cost more money. And they're hoping to raise some money to defray the cost so that they could still go on the trip, keep the cost the same.
Well, tell them to fill the form out the right way, and then we don't have to ask questions, right?
Yes, well, it was his first time filling out the
That's
form,
okay.
so. And then, but if not, then they
Yeah.
would look at taking a school bus if they didn't have the fundraising money. The second question was in regards to one of the Model UN trips and how the cost for that was only $25. And she had put down that they were using their activity account, and so that's money that they fundraised last year
Okay.
that they'll use to offset those
Costs.
fees. And then there was also a question on the music department trip to New Orleans. So typically we'll put the two sponsors that are going from the school, and then we'll get the number of parents needed depending on the number of students that determine that they're going on the trip.
especially in New Orleans, we should
Yes.
have enough chaperones.
So again,
Yes.
just, I mean, you do, first I compliment you getting this, the whole thing early. I know Kevin's
Bit of
pushed
bail.
that over the years, but, just tell them, point that out. If it says we're gonna get parents, so there's a certain rate. We have a certain ratio that we would expect with students
We
to
typically
adults?
follow 1 per 10,
Okay.
1 adult per 10 students.
All right. So if it didn't say it there, you're gonna make sure that happens, right? Okay.
So we'll bring this in October and I'll have Tim will follow up with our insurance carrier and make sure we just have the right waivers in place. I think we already have that in our administrative procedure, but I'll check. We need to just check that.
You do.
Thought so.
So what would be the discussion the next meeting? Just do we have the waivers?
Unless the board
Or
wants
does the
to.
insurance carrier have any concerns?
Right.
So do you want to have him tell those 2 points ahead of time in an update and just put it in the consent agenda if he does that? Otherwise, we'll put it as a separate item. Okay, why don't you,
Gotcha.
if you get the answers to the board through an update, we'll put it on the consent agenda item. And if not, we'll vote on them separately.
Okay.